Hello and welcome to another new video. In this one, people, we are going to put the gearbox back in the car, back in my Fran-ken Cougar. Well, let me just show you the belt tension. We adjusted the eccentrics. We aimed for a 1 to 2 millimeter tolerance. That's not much. That is not much. So with the gearbox open fully, you can see how much that is. We are talking a Schumacher basic fundamental. Belt tension must move between 1 and 2 millimeters, no more and no less. That is so you have the correct tension for your belt. You don't want it to slip. You don't want it to be too tight. Too tight puts too much pressure on the lace shaft and the bearings. That's all the bearings, and mainly the lace shaft. So let's get this gearbox back together. Let's get it in the car. And the nice little treat at the end of the video is the model running. This is my Franken Cougar, don't forget, people. My franken cougar2. Mate, it looks like a Cougar 2. And it looks like a works, but it's not. It's based on parts. It was never a whole car. This was basically me throwing parts at a chassis. And this is what you end up with, a Franken Cougar. But this is a very nice Franken Cougar. We use, what do we use? Vehicle stability control. Oh, that is awesome, people. That is awesome. So let's get this gearbox back together. So we have used the Pro lace shaft from the Cougar 2 Works because that has the same pitch, belt pitch as my Model Motorsport nylon diff, my very tasty nylon diff. I should really get a new bearing for the center. I might treat my diff to a nice ceramic bearing. Yeah. And I think the next time I strip it, I'm going to put some new balls in there. And yeah, but it's very smooth. The diff is very nice, very smooth. I would compare it to the Pro diff. It's not actually a Pro diff, is it, in the Cougar 2 Works? That is the standard diff. I would compare it to that. It is as good. Doesn't look as fancy, but it's just as good. So, clutch on. I haven't put the second pad in this because I really want to lock it off. My aim is to set the diff up with a locked clutch. So technically, I'm running it with no clutch to start with, just to see if the belt slips. Not belt. Oh, the belt better not slip. I wanted to check the differential, make sure my one turn was enough. I've got a funny feeling we are bang on the money because the default for a diff is normally between from fully tight, so you fully tighten it as tight as you can do it, and you turn it off one turn. That is one full 360 rotation, and sometimes you might need half a turn, but I normally work on a full turn, 360. That normally does it, but like, it's nothing set in stone. It's always slightly different. Everything is always slightly different. This is why we say between 1 and 2 millimeters on the belt tension. This is why we always say between 1 and 1.5 turns on the diff. It's never always the same. Always little bits of variation. So you have to bear that in mind. Always a little bit of variation in all settings. That is standard, that is normal. So over the years, I've realized that about 1 turn normally does it. But you don't want it too tight, you don't want it too loose. So you get used to it, you learn. You get used to your differential, how it sounds, how it works, how it slips, how it doesn't slip. And that's it then, really, people. That's it. There's nothing really can't say any more about a diff, really. You put it in, it works, tighten it, you loosen it. Job done. That's it. So anyway, we're almost there. Wheels, get those wheels on. No, actually, to be fair, you need to get the gearbox on first. I was just getting the drive shafts in. Can't jump a stage. Ooh, who follows a manual nowadays? Who follows a manual? I don't know, not me. Anyway, so let's get these screws in. My nice countersunk hex screws. These are stainless steel, very good quality. Purchased them on the I get all my screws off the Amazon. I don't really go anywhere else because there's that much choice on the Amazon for your screws. It is unbelievable. So tires, wheels back on. See, these tires are tarmac tires. They are very, very, very good. They hardly wear. I've had them on for ages. I had a nasty habit of wasting off-road tires driving up and down my back garden. Whenever I want to like just bash or do some setting up or some testing, I used to waste tires. And I discovered these off-road tires. Not off-road. These are road tires. Sorry. These road tires. Very good. Very good. Perfect for my back garden test situation. Very nice. Work very well. And they're surprisingly good over grass. That is weird. I must cut my grass. I've been avoiding my grass recently because I've had an issue with wild animals defecating on one's grass. Anyway, here we go. So, gearbox in. Oh, that is beautifully smooth. That is nice and smooth. Yes. So, gearbox in. We are now at a stage where we are going to see if the diff slips or not. I'm going to be brutal, people. I'm going to be very brutal. Normally, I do a garden test by driving the car into my foot. Very basic diff check. If it slips, you can see it. But on this occasion, I'm going to be very brutal. I'm going to show you how one SBC. Awesome. I'm going to be brutal with this test. I'm going to give it some throttle and I'm going to push down so the car doesn't move. If it slips, we will hear it. If it doesn't slip, then bingo. No, that is awesome. That is perfect. There is nothing wrong with that diff. That is on the belt. Nothing wrong with the belt, the diff, or the clutch. At this point, I've now put in the external pad on the clutch just so I can tighten it up. So, clutch isn't slipping, diff isn't slipping, and belt is awesome. So we are ready. We are ready to take this model out. And let's see what it does. So, in my test scenario, we are leaving the clutch fully tight. And let's see it go. Beautiful. Look at that. Marvelous. Marvelous. And just listen to that. Listen to that car. Awesome. Goes straight off the bench outside. Beautiful. Can't fault it. Franken Cougar model. Awesome. And it sounds very nice. Brushed motor, people. Brushed motor. So that concludes the video of my repair. You've seen the repair, you've seen the diff, you've seen the model. And that's it then, people. And laters.